26, my Twitter's gone a bit mad.
Oh, why?
But look at you shivering.
I'm
very cold in here.
frozen.
No, because we're saying...
Shall I show you my woolly blanket?
We haven't...
Woolly blanket. On my knees.
Yeah. What you need in here. We're saying that we haven't heard from an economist who supports the Truss budget, and we haven't on this show. However, lots of you have got in touch to say Patrick Minford, who apparently was on GBNEWS last night. Don't know whose show he was on, but I didn't see it. But anyway, Patrick Minford has said if they stick to their guns, in a year we'll have 5% inflation, 3% Bank of England rate, and north of 2% growth. Debt will fall, good for jobs, wages, enterprise, public spending.
Okay,
That's
can we
Patrick
hold you
Minford.
to that?
So, yeah.
It's just whether we can go through the year that leads up to that. Long-term measures can be much harsher, can't
I hope it's right.
in the short term.
I hope it's right. It'd be great for the country. But, you know, we'll have to wait and see. So there you go. So there is an economist voicing things the other way.
Shall we have a look at today's front pages of the newspapers? Looking first at the Eye, it claims that the public have turned on the government after the recent YouGov poll, because that's placed Labour 33 points ahead of the Tories.
The Guardian, meanwhile, says Liz Truss will hold emergency talks with the head of Britain's independent fiscal watchdog. That's the OBR.
The Telegraph runs with the news that benefit payments are set to fall in real terms after a government initiative to cut spending.
The Daily Express's headline reveals that the Queen died peacefully of old age, with Charles and Anne beside her.
And the Daily Mail says that Liz Truss has vowed to press ahead with controversial and difficult economic plans.
OK, let's go through some of those papers then with Benjamin Butterworth from the Eye and former Conservative advisor Claire Pearsall. Morning to you both. I know what you're looking for.
You do, don't
This
you?
one here.
Thank you very much.
Here we go. This is Claire's list, so we know what they're talking about this morning. Let's start with the Eye, Benjamin, and the new effigy of Charles.
Yes, it's been revealed. So there's going to be a £5 coin, and the picture of King Charles III's head has been revealed. And now what's interesting about this, and I'll confess it was your royal reporter Cameron Walker who pointed this out to me on the way in, is that Charles is not wearing a crown.
I know, we were talking about this
Well,
earlier.
neither did George VI.
Well,
why?
apparently neither did Elizabeth until she had the coronation. So it's not necessarily a precedent that they've all followed, but it is one that his mother did, that she didn't have a crown until after.
Does that make the coin now, then, very much collectible?
Yes.
Because it's only a short period of time now until he gets his crown.
If
they change it.
Well, indeed, although, you know, there is precedent for it being changed. That's what, you know, Elizabeth II did. Now, this £5 coin comes out on the 3rd of October, so it's quite soon. And I think the rest of the stuff with his face on it is going to be at a much later period. There'll be a special edition of the 50p coin for Queen Elizabeth II as well. But I think you make a very valid point that if you can try and get your hands on one of these, you know, it's going to be the one. It's going to be the one British coin that's rising in value at the moment.
Absolutely. It'll buck the trend.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Yes, which is better than the Mirror takes it, because their take on it was the new £5 coin soon to be worth 50p. Well, there you go.
Well, the Mirror would.
Misery gods.
Yeah, absolutely.
Talking of the Mirror, top 20 songs, Claire. I think we're going nice and light-hearted.
No, this is for breakups.
No, this is for breakups. It was just one of those sort of really interesting things that everybody can remember a breakup in their life and having a soundtrack to it. Those of us who are older than Benjamin can remember doing a mixtape.
Mixtape.
A mixtape. And you would always put those songs that you...
Okay, what was your song then? Breakup song?
Breakup song, it would have to be something by sort of a Whitney Houston or a Dolly Parton, I Will Always Love You.
Oh.
But then you move to, you know, sort of the anger stage.
Oh, yeah.
And then you'd want something a little bit more rocky, poppy type.
Oh, no, I wept and wept to Bridge Over Troubled Water.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can see that. But something like Alice Cooper, Poison is very good to get the anger out in your heart.
I had George Michael, I Can't Make You Love Me If You Won't.
Oh,
I can't make your heart feel something.
You broke your heart to that.
Oh, I
did you?
did, yeah. When I was a
Broken
kid,
your heart to any
yeah.
particular song?
No, I'd have to fall in love with someone to.
Oh, your time will come, inevitably.
Yeah, my breakup song's not yet been written.
Oh, that's a good one. Oh, come on. GBNEWS at GBNEWS.uk.
Yes.
Get us off the politics just for a couple of seconds. Yeah, what was your best breakup song? Well, not best, it's just your memorable breakup song.
One that you sobbed to in
Yeah,
your
that's
bedroom.
right, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's cracker. So what?
It does. I
Well,
mean,
no.
sort of in the study that was undertaken, it was a poll of 2,000 adults. 24% said a big night out also helped after a split. Now, I think we can all appreciate that. You're feeling in the doldrums, you're sitting on the sofa, you're in your leisure wear, and your friend says, right, no, come on. Get out of the house, come on. And sometimes, you know what, a bit of Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive being sung, a bit of Mamma Mia, something like that, just to lift your spirits. So I think
Yes.
music has a really important part in relationships.
It really
in
does,
life,
doesn't it?
And it can cover everything. So I liked the fact that we go from everything. We've got Amy Winehouse, Adele, Sinead O'Connor.
Yeah, but
Oh, no.
what are
Yeah.
the songs?
Oh.
What are the songs? I can't quite read it.
So you've got Amy Winehouse is number one, Back to Black. I can kind of appreciate that. We go to Whitney Houston, I Will Always Love
But
You.
yes, of course.
Fleetwood Mac, Go Your Own Way. So you can see sort of, the movement that you're going, and sort of down the list a little bit further. Beyonce, Single Ladies,
Oh no.
Oh.
which is at number 18.
It seems like a breakup song, really.
But why not?
It's about getting over a
It's
breakup,
getting over it,
isn't
and I
it?
think
Yeah.
this is the point.
It's like the I Will Survive, singing it
Exactly.
around the kitchen.
Exactly.
Oh, I will
Going out-
survive.
Yeah.
Oh.
And you go out with
Very
your
important
friends,
one.
you belt that one out,
Yeah.
you feel so much better.
Yeah.
Heartily recommend things like that.
What about Dolly Parton singing DIVORCE?
Yes. And I think, but that's it. But everybody has that little
Yeah.
soundtrack. So it'd be really interesting to get some views as to what people would have on their soundtrack. So, we
Yeah.
could all put a playlist
It's
together.
the misery chart, they call it.
Yeah.
What's the top of your misery chart?
Quite good, though.
GBNews at GBNews.uk.
From that to serious matters, in the Sun,
Answer
Benjamin.
Koulas.
Yes, so you'll remember Harry Dunn, who
Yeah.
was killed, and Answer Koulas, the wife of a US diplomat. For a while, it looked like no charges for the allegations would come, but she's to appear in court, the 45-year-old from the US, and it looks like, according to The Sun, she's going to accept the charge of death by careless driving rather than by dangerous driving. And so the latter, dangerous driving, would carry a sentence of 14 years. Careless would carry a 5-year sentence.
But she's not coming to Britain to
She's
face it.
not. She's appearing in court via video link from the US, but she's expected to say, according to this Sun headline, I did kill Harry, and that family might finally get some justice on those allegations.
Well, what justice can they get if she was found guilty of careless driving? She's never going to come here to actually. She's not going to be extradited, surely.
I mean, there is a suggestion that she could have to come over here in the story.
Oh.
But there was a long negotiation between the US and the UK in which they resisted for a while. But I think under President Trump there was some movement on that, which is how we've even got to the point where it's being heard in a court in this country with her via video link. So yeah, that's what's expected to happen. And I think the horror of what that family went through, and then the twists and turns.
They've had to fight every step of the way to get any
Exactly.
degree of justice, any recognition. But haven't they been strong?
They have, and that's, it's fair play to them. I'm not sure that many people could have done that. It's reported in another paper in the Mirror that the journalist approached her to see if she had any comment for Harry's family, and she looked visibly annoyed that she had been found. And I think that's what sits in everybody's mind, that she doesn't appear to be sorry. And I think that would be a real starting point. There seems to be no remorse when you.
I can imagine that she's been advised you don't say anything.
I'm sure
The
she
minute you
has.
say sorry, you're admitting some sort of a guilt. And legally, she would be advised probably not to. But she could have handled it better.
And I think that's, by looking visibly irritated and annoyed, that doesn't help. You know, put your head down, walk on, leave it at that. And you're right that her legal counsel would have told her to not say a word. It feels wrong. Everything feels wrong. Appearing by video link, I know that there are legal implications to her coming back to the UK.
Well, let's talk about. To be fair, she's got 2 young children, I
Yeah.
think, hasn't she? If she has to serve a sentence, then let her do it in the States. At least the kids can see it or whatever. I mean, it's...
Don't break up
That
two
would be fair
families.
enough, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just doesn't bear thinking about.
No, it doesn't. It's just
awful.
tragic.
Awful.
Terrible.
What's going on with the internet, Claire?
Oh, well, this is the story of pipelines that have allegedly been sabotaged by Putin.
Yes.
And what it would mean to the United Kingdom. We are all very, very reliant upon the internet, and those cables are laid under the sea in great big trenches. So if Putin was to perhaps continue along the lines of taking out pipelines, then you could find that the UK is without the internet. And I think it just
So we're
highlights the
guessing on this
security of the of energy to the United Kingdom, but then also the security of our communications. So this is becoming a much more serious issue.
What I can't get my head around with all this, in 2022, we're relying on cables being laid at the
under the
bottom of
sea.
the ocean. Why is it not all wireless and satellite and everything else?
I don't think there's the capacity for that at the moment. I mean, it's very expensive to keep putting satellites up there, and there's a limit, I suppose, as to how many you can have, and the security of the data that it will...
And we're laying new cables down between Morocco and Britain, apparently, yes, to absorb the wind and solar power coming from Morocco. We're already laying a new cable. So clearly it's the only way at the moment.
I mean, Elon Musk has used his satellite to help the people of Ukraine continue to have access to TV and internet and things, which has clearly been very helpful. But
Skynet is that?
it's something like that.
yeah.
But I suppose, you know, if Russia wants to ruin it for an awful lot more people, then there's not the capacity to facilitate that from Musk's fancy thing in the sky.
You would need so many of them, and I'm not sure that there's the money to do it. There is the capacity in space to do it. I appreciate space is a very big thing, but you know, to have it near
it
enough.
takes us back to the 80s when we were talking about Star Wars and about them actually putting satellites up there that could shoot out other satellites.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's horrendous.
Absolutely, and it's not beyond the realms of possibility. If you want to take out a satellite, it's probably arguably easier to do that than it is an underwater cable. So.
Oh, I don't know.
You don't
I
know?
don't know. It sounds easy. I
Well,
don't
what
know if it is.
NASA managed to shoot down a meteor, an asteroid the other day.
Yes.
It's not difficult to take out something that's floating around up there.
Oh, the scientist in me wants to scream. No, I don't think it is that easy. But they'd have to do it by lasers.
It's possible, though, isn't it?
Possible.
I mean, we are just looking at a whole new future of war as well, which is very, very frightening.
Oh, dear me, dear me, dear me. Let's talk about... Now, you've picked this one, Benjamin.
I have.
And I know why you've picked this one. It's because Queen Margrethe,
Margarita.
there you go, of Denmark, has stripped 2 of her grandsons of their prince titles, but these are the 2 who are models.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, they're models.
No, well, it's 4 of her grandchildren.
Well, 2 of them are
Two of
models.
them are models.
Oh, well, now, I mean, I don't know if you have the photo.
They are the
but
most good-looking young men you could possibly hope to look at. This is the Danish royal family, and it's fascinating. We think we've got intrigue going in our royal family, but they've got quite a lot of intrigue going on there.
Well, so yeah, 4 of her grandchildren. She has 8 grandchildren in total. So this is Queen Marguerite. She's the oldest monarch. She's the only queen left in Europe. She's been the Queen of Denmark for 50 years. She's a chain smoker. She loves riding roller coasters. She seems like a proper hoot. She's enormously popular in Denmark, and she's removed the royal title, so Prince, Princess, from 4 of her grandchildren because she says she wants them to be able to lead normal lives. And it seems like, you know, this is not an act of aggression. It's something that those grandkids want themselves. And she cites that actually lots of royal families around the world have been doing a similar thing. Now, we think about this in the context of our own country. Prince Harry and Meghan, the question about whether Lilibet and Archie will get titles, as they are technically entitled. Wow, he's handsome. You've broken my chain of thought there. Whether Archie and Lilibet will be Prince and Princess, well, I think this might be making it easier for King Charles to not award his own
because maybe Queen Margrethe is trying to do the same thing that King Charles now has said, in to slim down the monarchy.
Exactly.
But these, 2 particularly of these 4 grandchildren who are no longer princes, they are amazingly successful models because they are incredibly good looking.
No, you can't, but they are very successful, so there's nothing that would say
we haven't got a
they
picture of
needed
them.
to have the royal title attached to
We'll talk about this tomorrow because we were wondering we should talk more about this because it's so fascinating.
You say you can't be a prince and a model, and yet, Stephen, you manage it. You manage it every day.
Yeah,
Anyway, she
so-
sounds quite formidable, does Queen Margrethe.
You're not coming back on the show ever again, Ben. I don't care how nice you are to me. That's it. You're done. You're done. Thank you both very much indeed.
Yeah,
Good to
thank
see
you.
you.
Thank you.